stuff that needs to be reinvigorated and reestablished. Nawasak yun eh. You know, in other countries, matreten ka lang ng impeachment, magre-resign ka na, magpapatiwari ka na. You're going to be hanging on a rope in a hotel room, umiikot yung ventilador, di ba? Because kahihiyan eh. Pag sinabi ng Kongreso na i-impeach namin ikaw, talagang bastusan na yun. That means you're really terrible, di ba? Here in this country, my God, ano ba na, you know, abulin niyo ako, impeachin niyo ako.
Wala naman masyadong, I mean, wala naman masyadong hiya talaga yung mga tao ngayon.
You know, it's our self-respect na, guys. You know, folks, you know, talagang tayo na ito eh.
No, but gang, I mean, listen, you're pointing on the theory of the things, but gang, this is the important point you've been looking at.
Yeah.
You've been studying how people's attitudes towards these things, impeachment, people power, our constitution, how it's been changing. Now, you were saying you weren't concerned, you guys aren't, none of you is losing sleep over Merceditas Gutierrez, right? Okay.
I will be, though, after tonight.
But here's Dean. Is it only because he has white hair that he seems very upset about this and no one else is?
Well, I think of course, it's very valid to worry about our image and the corruption, etc. in theories, no? But I'm really more worried about sayang naman tong office na to. It has such a great, for me, I mean, I'm a lay person, I'm so I casually observe, but what a great idea, you know? They should have something like this. If companies and classrooms have complaint box, what more an administration? And I said, how fantastic, this exists. There's an ombudsman. And yes, it is heartbreaking that it's not functioning as it should. Or there is such a waste of time to go and talk about the other peripheries of it other than what it's supposed to be doing. Di ba dapat simple lang yun?
Sa tingin nyo, Manolo, Dean, if I were to lead a coup, let's say next month.
Okay, cool. I'll be with you.
Tapos, okay, let's start from scratch. Tingin nyo ba, pwede pa rin tayong magkaroon ng isang gobyerno na walang ombudsman?
But of course. What do you mean? Walang ombudsman?
Walang ombudsman. Kasi yun parang wala naman eh.
Can we do away with it?
You know what we really need is a whistleblower law.
I
mean, I know the ombudsman is importante yung ombudsman, pero ibig sabihin ko, what the ombudsman needs, like today, the PAGC was saying, wala kasi kami mga nagka-come forward to testify against this legacy, ganun. What we need in this country is a whistleblower law. Because that's the thing that turns the 1 million employees of your government into watchdogs, yung mga maliliit.
But they should be the ones. Every single public official should be their own ombudsman.
But this is talking about what's encountered in the papers. What's happening, gang, is precisely that. If someone steps forward and says, "Oh, I saw Dean stealing money," immediately it's a script na, di ba? Dean will come out and say, magnanakaw din yun eh. Diba? Number one. Then number two, kakasuhan ko yan kasi slander, libel, etc. And then it gets bogged down. And meantime, the person who was doing the original whistleblowing loses their job, gets death threats, or whatever. Diba? Now, so what Lourdes is asking is, maybe one reason there's no pressure also on the ombudsman is everyone is sure that the moment someone comes out with an accusation, matatabunan agad eh.
But Gang's right, by the way. It is a way of making everyone an ombudsman.
I mean, if I ran some office, I will take it. My role is the function, and yes, I will take the complaints as well, and yes, I will police myself. And maybe whistleblowers are not authentic whistleblowers because you said everybody has some dirt that comes out when they start whistleblowing. So really, it's an individual thing, it turns out. You know, if we fix this institution, it doesn't necessarily...
Look at Romulo Neri, though.
Oh, but... I don't know. I'll take the fifth on that one.
No, but you're... Okay, so you're looking at the situation. Again, so it brings us down to the practical problem.
Oh, I have a headache.
The last point I want to raise is there's an interesting way out, possibly, for Merceditas Gutierrez, because she entered the job because Simeon Marcelo basically... couldn't function
take care
anymore.
Of his health,
And so there's a question whether her term is now running out because of the 7-year period, or whether she was appointed for a whole new 7-year period. Now, you know, this is the sort of thing that makes lawyers...
Co-terminus.
Yeah. So the question is... So the argument is whether it's expiring very soon or in 2012.
We have a question from Ethel through text. Should there be a way besides impeachment to punish ombudsman?
Well, yes, there is a way, of course. I don't think there's any law preventing the next ombudsman from filing a case against the previous ombudsman
Who
or
would make a
anyone
good
else.
new
The
ombudsman?
only thing of impeachment is how to remove them before their term ends.
Who would make a replacement ombudsman, a good replacement ombudsman?
Oo nga, magandang tanong yun.
Sino kaya ang maganda?
Di ba yung qualifications?
Immediately, do you have
sinabi ni
anyone
Father
in mind
Veras?
who you guys would trust to be an
Parang
ombudsman?
halos santo na dapat eh.
No,
Lord.
not necessarily. It should
Sabi
be a
ni
bad boy.
Ignacio,
You know, I think
should be a bad
dahil lang masama ang loob niya
Someone
doon
who
sa
knows
ano.
the tricks.
I think so.
Magandang point yun, di ba? Sabi ni Father Bernas, parang yung ombudsman's dapat saint.
Hindi.
Almost saintly.
Hindi.
Sabi ng
Hindi.
Medin, dapat
Kailangan
bad boy daw.
demonyo talaga.
Sige nga,
Someone
di
who
ba?
knows. And who no longer wants...
Kailangan
in other
walang
words,
konsensya,
someone-
walang pamilya, ganyan.
Well, not necessarily. No, I think it should be someone who has also maraming sakit. But,
Maraming sabi.
no, what I'm
In
saying-
other words, it takes a crook to catch a
Well,
crook.
no, it's not so much that. I think that we need a tough person who really wants to make a contribution in this area. You know, like an Elliot Ness.
Kailangan mayaman.
No, not necessarily. But it has to be someone who really wants to come out and make a name for himself and establish something in history and be known as the person that made the ombudsman a meaningful office.
30 seconds, last question. What would be an incentive for a president to appoint an ombudsman that would be serious about their job?
Protect but that's also the requirement for appointing anyone. Somebody who will protect me if I were in power. I mean, at least that's how I've seen it. But really,
No,
it
but
shouldn't
what
be
would
that
get the
way.
president not to do that anymore?
I guess it's the other way around, Manolo. It's someone who wants to really bring to justice the people that have made our people suffer so much, you know, the last few years.
I think a president who really has the country first, foremost in mind. Yun lang eh.
To put a bad boy in there who really...
Tingin ko rin.
Talaga.
Okay, so that's the baptism of fire of our clever panel. Now, my view. Now, back in April 2008, I met Robert Herd, I hope I pronounced that correctly, a Swedish lawyer from the Swedish Helsinki Committee for Human Rights. In my conversation with Herd, I asked him whether other countries were having problems with their ombudsman the way Filipinos have had problems with ours. His answer intrigued me. Sweden, he said, gave the world the institution of the ombudsman, but it only works in Sweden. That is because, according to him, it was an institution that developed according to a situation peculiar to Sweden, where you can expect an investigation by officials appointed by the authorities to be investigated, end quote. So maybe it isn't a uniquely Filipino dilemma to be frustrated by ombudsmen who end up owing more to the appointing power than the public they're supposed to serve. That being the case, perhaps then we should seriously explore two possibilities. One, Senator Roxas's proposal to appoint an ad hoc prosecutor every time a scandal arises, or another proposal you often hear, an ombudsman directly elected by the people. So thank you, Dean, Gang, and Lourdes. They'll all be back next week. And to you, Kenneth, thanks for being here. And to the students from UP Diliman, I'm Manolo Quezon, and this has been The Explainer.